Today, as you can see, we're doing part 2 of my Avengers lineup, and today we're doing Thor. So I've already done Captain America from the Avengers, and now I'm doing this figure, which you can see again, Thor. And next will be Iron Man Mark 7. So you've got all those videos coming up. Now, I'm going to note this again, this figure is borrowed, so thanks to my brother for borrowing it to me. It doesn't come with the shipper, but it's just out of the box, so now we're going to jump into the review. So as you can see, as usual, on the front of the box, quite uniform, as I said, with these Avengers boxes, just a kind of dotted effect on the picture of Chris Hemsworth as Thor. The Avengers in chrome writing with Marvel at the top there, and a glossy Avengers logo that you can only see in certain lights. It says Movie Masterpiece at the bottom, and Hot Toys. On the side it just carries over that image of Thor, and then on this little chrome insert here there's a picture of Mjolnir. And then on the other side it just carries on the picture, but obviously it's a different picture with kind of like an open palm hand. And the Mjolnir in chrome. On the top it says Thor. On the bottom it says Thor, red writing, white lettering. And then on the back it's just a dotted effect, and then it says Thor, once it's scale collectible. Once it's scale, limited edition collectible figurine, MMS 175. So as you can see, more credits here on the back. And now we're going to crack into the box. So all you'll do is you'll just lift up this, so it's a bit tight, cardboard insert. And then you got the figure in the packaging in this same, again, uniform Avengers box, this time being red with the lettering in white Avengers logos, and Mjolnir in white, as you can see, and then the credits on the back in white. So now we're going to crack into this figure, and we're going to see him in some pretty cool poses with his accessories. Okay guys, so here he is, Thor out of the box. Stood how he would come in the box with two-fisted hands. He also comes with open palm grasping hands, kind of like relaxed palm hands, two hands on for each side, so right and left, just for holding the hammer. As you can see, it kind of looks like a fisted hand from afar, but it's got a hole between the hands where you can put the hammer. Then I think this hand, which is you only get one of these, only for the left hand, is where you could kind of have him fighting Loki and him pulling the dagger that Loki stabbed him with out of his chest. Then it comes with it was kind of like the thing that they got transported with at the end of Avengers, him and Loki, which holds the Tesseract. This doesn't light up, but it's greatly detailed, as you can see. Great detail on here. I'm going to show you that later with him posed with the Dark World Loki. And of course, he comes with the mighty Mjolnir. Okay, so here he is on his figure stand, and now I'm going to jump into articulation, which is going to be really fun to do, as this figure, the articulation is very meh. So yeah, we're going to move on to articulation now. That was just a quick look at his accessories. As you can see, got the figure here. Now we're going to move on to articulation. As you can see, beautiful likeness to Chris Hemsworth as Thor. The hair is lovely. It's at the bottom, it's kind of, you can pose it a little bit, but it does mould back into shape, so it's kind of soft rubber at the bottom, but I'm not going to try and move that. The cape, as you can see, is folded in certain places, which is lovely. You give it a lovely design and it just moves back, which is great. Okay, so the head. Now, as I said, articulation on this figure is ridiculously limited. Okay, so I'm going to be as careful as I can, as this is not my figure. Okay, so the head can move down. No, it can't. It can move up. No, it can't. It can look left, right, sorry. Tiny bit. Left, a tiny bit. It's mainly down to the hair, I've got to be honest. His arms. Now this is the most delicate part of the suit, because if you can lift up the arms about that much, which is really disappointing. if you look here, his armour isn't a separate part, so it goes underneath this chest area from the arm. So if you lift his arm too much, that armour piece will pop out of place and you'd have to get like tweezers or something to get it out. So his arm can move up about that much. Just disappointing. Move up this way, barely at all, because it just wants to move itself back. Now his arms are very tight. He doesn't have any bicep rotation at all. His arms, I'm gonna have to do this delicately because it's rather tight. You can move them up, but not very much, as you can see. It just likes to mould itself back down. Really disappointing. His wrists move slightly, but it's hindered by this section here. And yeah, he's got some good articulation there. His abs do not move at all. No waist articulation, nothing. So I wouldn't even try that because you might break your figure. Okay, so legs. Legs can lift up about that much, but as you can hear, the leather on the suit is just screeching. So to be safe, about that much. His legs can move back about 90 degrees-ish, so that's pretty good. He has a bit of an upper thigh rotation, and his legs can rotate just there, and the boot, the shoe part of the boot, I should say, the foot, is on a separate part, which is really cool, just like the Stealth Strike suit, so it just pivots forward and back, side to side, and ankle pivot. And then he has a leg rotation there. So as you can see, due to the arms, the articulation, and the chest, in fact, personally I don't see how they could have given him any articulation on the abs, so I'll let them let them off with that. The head's quite disappointing, and the fact that this is so tight that you can't really have him holding his hammer in the iconic pose, which is kind of a letdown. But now I'm just going to pose him with Loki from the Dark World, so it won't be the Avengers Loki, just holding on to that Tesseract holder. So now we're just going to move on to that. Okay, so here is Loki. As you know, I've done a review of this, so if you haven't seen it yet, just check it out. Stood with Thor, holding on to the Tesseract transporter, I guess you'd call it. In the scene, I'd like to note Loki didn't actually wear the full chains. He actually just wore handcuffs, but the Dark World version didn't just come with handcuffs, it came with the full set. So, now I just wanted to show you this cool pose in case any of you had both figures and wanted to copy it, or even if you have the Avengers version actually does come with those, just the handcuffs. So now I'm just going to move on to my final verdict of the figure. Okay, so my final verdict on the figure is that it's a pain in the arse, gotta admit. This is probably not length of the video wise, but just how long I've been messing around with it. It's the longest figure I've ever reviewed. I mean, you can just see, look at that. See that then? Yeah, the arm just does what it wants. The hand then wouldn't go into place, so we had to take off the entire red cloth, as you can see here, and the gauntlets, and then actually bring the arm up. The armour, the rubber armour on his arm, the silver armour, has popped out of place on an occasion in the past before this video, so I'd watch out for that. This is literally the only pose I think this figure has ever been in. You can't pose it at all. So I hate to say it, because as you know, Hot Toys, I love Hot Toys. I really do. I think they're a great company, and I think they pay great attention to detail. But this just seems like they've been really lazy with this figure. It won't pose at all, and a lot of people complain about the Stealth Strike suit. They should be complaining about this, because this won't do anything. I have my Captain America Stealth Strike suit figure in a very dynamic pose right now, and this is all I can get out of this. So if you guys are looking to buy one, that's great. If you want this figure, then yeah, sure, buy it. But watch this video and please just take note of what I've said. If you do like him in this quite neutral pose, that's great. You buy this figure, but I've got to admit, guys, I won't buy it myself. I won't waste the money, because if you're mad on posing, I just won't waste the money. His arm, as you just saw a minute ago, just popped down completely. Just moved the way it wanted to move. And this rubber here does not restrict it at all. It's just that the arms are very, very weak. And I'll argue with anyone who says that it's not, because the rubber doesn't prevent it from moving at all. It's just because they've released another Thor figure with no showing joints that manages to move with this same material, just cut off arm sections here. So you guys can make your decision, but I hope this review has been helpful. Like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. And I'm sorry guys, but this figure gets a thumbs down from me, sorry. But stay classy guys, and stay tuned.